Hi there everyone and welcome to Tech Cravers. You're about to watch my updated guide on how to hack or jailbreak your Nintendo 2DS or 3DS console no matter which model or firmware you have. This will enable the possibility of installing Homebrews on your Nintendo 2DS or 3DS console. Doing that will, among other things, let you change the entire theme of your home menu, let you use sheets in your favorite game, or even install all your games onto a micro SD card for you to bring with you everywhere. So without any further delay, let's jump into it. Okay, so in this tutorial I will hack this old Nintendo 2DS that has been completely factory restored and is currently running firmware 11.17.0. I will show you that in just a sec. But first I want to mention that this hacking method does not require you to have Mario Kart 7 like my previous guide did. And also this method works no matter which model you have. It works for old 2DS and 3DS, and new 2DS, new 3DS and the XL models. But in this guide, as I said, I will be using this beautiful old Nintendo 2DS. Now let me just set up this device and jump into the settings to show you which firmware we're on. And as you can see, we're on 11.17.0, which is the latest and previously unhackable firmware from Nintendo. And we can tell that this handheld is running on original firmware since it says VER in front of the firmware version. If the handheld is hacked and running on custom firmware, it would have said SYS instead. Now then, time to prepare the SD card. In this tutorial I will be using this SanDisk 32GB card. The game sizes varies between 300MB and up to 1.5GB and even 3 or 4GB in some cases. So keep that in mind when choosing memory card. I will link to my favorite memory cards in this video description, so check there if you haven't a good card at the moment. You also need a micro SD card to SD adapter. Most micro SD cards come with this adapter included. And with your console turned off, insert your SD card into the device and power it on. And when you insert a new memory card in your 2DS or 3DS, you will get a pop-up saying creating home menu. Once that is done, locate the Mi Maker and open it up. And when you get to Welcome to Mi Maker, you can click the home button and exit out of the Mi Maker. But you can also click through the initial process of making your first Mi character and then exit out of it. And once you have closed the Mi Maker, turn off your console and take out your SD card and mount it on your computer with Windows. You can do this on a Mac or Chromebook as well, but this specific guide is for Windows computers. On your computer, go to the link in the video description named What You Need, click on the MSET9 link and download the release version number .zip. And then go back and click the Python link. Python is a free software that you need to have installed on your Windows computer to execute the hack later. So install Python and proceed to mount your SD card in your computer if you haven't done that already. With your SD card mounted in your computer, you should only have a folder named Nintendo 3DS on the card. Copy everything from the release zip archive you downloaded earlier to the root of your SD card, overwriting any existing file. And one of the files you copied is named mset9.bat. This is the file we need to have Python installed to open. So run the file when you find it. And here, in a very self-explanatory way, we're gonna type the number which corresponds to our console model and firmware version, and then hit enter. Since I'm on an old 2DS on firmware 11.17.0, I'm typing 1. And yes, I know it says old 3DS, but it works for old 2DS as well. So once you figure out which number you should type, do that and hit enter. After that, type 1 and hit enter again to ensure that your console is prepared for MSET9. If you get all green check marks and the text everything appears to be functional, then you're ready for the next step and you can skip to the next chapter in this guide called Inject MSET9 Payload. But if you, like me, get an error, check the solution and proceed with that. The solution for my error is written right there in the terminal window. Initialize the title database by navigating to System Settings, Data Management, Nintendo 3DS, Software and then Reset. And there's even a visual guide that you can copy and paste into your browser to see it. It seems like a very easy fix for my problem, but it requires that I take out my SD card and put it back in my 2DS and follow the steps there. So with the SD card back in my 2DS, I'm doing all the steps that was handed to me. System Settings, Data Management, Nintendo 3DS, Software, and then Reset. And once that is complete, I'm backing out of Settings, I'm turning off my device, I mount my SD card in the computer and launch the MSET9 bat file once again. And when typing 1 to perform sanity checks this time, it all turns green and the MZ9 payload is ready to be injected. And I'm sorry, but once again you need to take out your SD card, reinsert it into your console and power up your device. Once your device is on and has the SD card in it, hover over the system settings icon using the D-pad, do not select it yet, I repeat, do not select it, power off your console and then power it back on. Press A to launch the system settings. Now navigate to Data Management, Nintendo 3DS and Extra Data. Do not press any button or touch the screen. Ensure that you see the Me Maker icon. Now, with the console still on and without pressing any buttons or touching the screen, remove your SD card from your console. The menu will refresh and say that no SD card is inserted, which is expected. Insert your SD card into your computer. And once again, run the MZ9 bat file, choose your model, and then this time type 2 and enter to inject the MZ9 payload. And you should see MZ9 successfully injected. Press enter to exit. Reinsert your SD card into your console without pressing any buttons or touching the screen. If the exploit was successful, you will now boot into Safe B9S installer. Wait for it to complete the first steps and once prompted, input the key combo given on the top screen to complete the installation of Boot 9-strap. And once that is complete, press A to restart your console. Your console will now boot into the Luma 3DS configuration menu. For the purpose of this guide, leave these options to the default settings. Do not check or uncheck anything. Instead, press Start to save and reboot. Now, if we go into system settings, we can see in front of the firmware version that it now says SYS instead of VER, indicating that we are now in fact on custom firmware. So congratulations on successfully hacking your device. However, we still need to remove the MZ9 payload to prevent issues in the future. And we also need to install a few good to have homebrews before we can call it a day. So for the last time in this guide, turn off your console and insert your micro SD card into your computer. Run the MZ9 bat file and type the number corresponding to your console model. In the next window, type 3 and hit enter to remove the MZ9 payload. It should say successfully removed MZ9. Now press enter to close the MZ9 script. At this point, your console will boot into Luma 3DS by default when you start it. Now click the next link in the video description named Finalizing. Click on the link named finalizing.zip to download a zip archive containing the good to have homebrews I was talking about before. Copy all of the content from that zip file into the root of your SD card, merging and replacing any existing folders if prompted. And once that is complete, make sure that your console is turned off, then reinsert the SD card into your device. Press and hold start, and while holding start, power on your console. This will launch God Mode 9 that we will use to launch the script that will install all the homebrews we just downloaded. I'm sorry, but the screen is very dark here, so I will try to explain the steps and hope that you can figure out. Click your home button to bring up the action menu. Scroll down to scripts and then select Finalize, which is the script we just downloaded. Hit A and then hit A again, and you will eventually end up with a prompt saying that your sysNAND is locked. Hit A and then input the key combo given in the screen to start installing the script. This will take a while since apart from installing the homebrews, it will also back up your entire NAND in case something goes wrong in the future. So once the script says setup complete, you should press A to power off your device and then put your memory card back into your computer. There you should copy the contents of GM9 backups folder to somewhere safe on your computer. That folder contains your backup. But I will skip that part in this guide and instead proceed to boot up my console. And once my console boots up, my homebrews have been installed and are ready to use. And that's actually been it for this guide on how to hack and install homebrews on your Nintendo 2DS or 3DS in 2024, no matter which model you have. If this guide helped you out, it would mean a lot to me if you could give it a thumbs up and also comment down below if it did. Don't forget to check out my other videos as well, as I have other guides on how to use cheats, etc. on your newly hacked console. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, TechCravers out.